Hi, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of our show. So tell me, Nicole and Friday, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. It's a beautiful and bright day.
Yes, the sun is out. I feel so bright and beautiful as well. Nicole, how are you feeling today?
I don't want to be Zebby Downer, but it is a beautiful day. But I feel like I was checking our latest posts, and I feel like we do all of this great work, and we have such great episodes. But all of a sudden, it wasn't that many mics. It was only like a few mics, and it's like, really, all of this hard work for only these few kids, and it ain't cool.
Yeah, so listeners or, our followers. So we've been doing all this great work every day. We churn out, great content. We'll talk about, mental health issues daily. And then, we talk about distress, we talk about stuff and how it impacts our mental health daily. But guess what? We have little lights people do not share, even though we have, other people who like, share, in as much as we don't get those numbers, we're not letting it deter us with all this great job that we do. Friday, what do you think?
Yeah, I think if we decide to look on the likes, the number of likes that we're having on the show, it looks a little bit discouraging. But I think we really have to encourage ourselves with the fact that a few people that have made certain comments, the comments are truly, truly encouraging. Encouraging in the sense that they are really assimilating what we are saying, and a few of them have probably put it into practice, and it is really impacting in their lives. I think that alone is for me a good job that we are doing.
Right, because day before yesterday we had talked about connecting with nature, and somebody actually sent us a DM and said he was feeling depressed. He connected with nature and he felt great after listening to the sound waves from the water, hearing the natures, the birds and everything. I think, yeah. So listeners, for those who follow us, thank you for everything that you do for us. And then if you haven't connected with us yet, please make sure you connect with us.
Yes, like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, and share it above all. Mm-hmm. So, listeners, we're going to be talking about no, you know what? We'll be right back and I'm going to tell you what the topic is. Welcome back, listeners. So me today in the studio, I have Nicole. Nicole has worked in a mental health facility. She has also worked with, in the population with people suffering from homelessness, mental health issues as well. She has like 23 years experience, guys. And then we have Friday also here. He has also worked with the same population of people with mental health issues, population of, people with homelessness, social services. And I think he has actually done this for 10 years, guys. So I'll have them, introduce themselves.
My name is Friday Abwal. Like you rightly said, I've worked with a population of clientele that with people that has mental health issues, substance abuse issues, domestic violence, and all of that.
Oh, yeah, the same. I think we are all in similar fields. Although you are the licensed clinician in the room, I like to call myself and consider myself the lived experience expert. Through my own family, through my own personal experiences, or the people that I have served in the capacity of different positions over the years. Yeah.
I remain your host, Michelle, and I'm a mental health clinician. So today we're going to be talking about social media and how it impacts the mental health. Nicole, Friday, what do you guys think about social media before we go into the nitty-gritties of what we have doubled down for today?
So I think just in the two circumstances that we shared right before the break, is two ways to show that social media could be helpful or sometimes it can have a negative impact. I was only focusing on the lights and on the connection and the activity. And I felt kind of like really upset about that. Whereas you shared the individual who, based upon watching one of the videos, decided to take the advice and actually had a positive outcome. So social media can do that. Social media can be negative, social media can be positive.
All right. In my own opinion, I think I'll start with saying what is the meaning of social media. You know, so I will, in my own term, define social media as a tool that we can use to share information, create content, advertise, and then share opinions. But it is digital. Digital in the sense that it is not an venue where we can meet one-on-one or physically. So all of these things that I just mentioned are done digitally. So in that process, a lot of things could be real and a lot could be fake, depending on how you decide to use it.
Right. So talking about social media, you know that research, according to Psychology Today, research says that social media, a lot of people use social media. Over 5.17 billion people use social media in year 2024, and it's going to increase to 6.05 in year 2028. Wow, that's a huge number. It also says that an average person stays on social media rather for 145 minutes a day. That's
a lot of time.
Yes, that's a lot of time we spend on social media. So Friday, Nicole, are you social media people? Because as for me, I'm not really a social media person.
I'm going to tell you that at one point I was on Facebook, I was on Instagram, TikTok, all of the above. Um, and then I had to step away because I found myself using it far too often. And I just felt like it was consuming my life. And I had to find a different way. I recently reconnected, but only because social media is also used as a marketing tool. And there was things that I wanted access to, like trying to find nail techs and hair, locticians and stuff like that. And they were only advertising on Instagram. So I felt forced to join Instagram again, only to be able to stay connected. But I tried very hard to limit my time.
So I'm in social media because whether we like it or not, it has become in a way a reality. At our jobs, we use it as references. We use it to find information. We use it to seek opinion. We use it to see how other people feel about certain, discourse, things like that. So I'm part of it, but the question is, how often do I use it and what do I use it for? I think that's where the difference lies.
Right. Social media could be a double-edged sword. It could be either positive or it could either be negative, like, according to what you both have said today. But for the sake of this conversation, let's tie it to addictions, right? How do you feel like addiction to social media can impact our mental health or can actually make our mental health feel better?
So addiction has a negative connotation, right? So I don't see how being addicted to social media could ever have a positive impact on anyone's life. I will say that using social media could be a tool to improve your mental health, especially because there are people who advertise therapy. There are people like us with this podcast who would put out information, and it was an opportunity for people to see information that they wouldn't normally have access to. So it could be very helpful. But I do believe if we're gonna talk about it from the lens of addiction, that means that someone is overusing something. That means that means that social media is impacting their life negatively, where they find themselves on social media for hours on end. They have no account for it, or that it drives their opinion. And some people look at social media and compare themselves to other people, and now they have to fall into a certain image. They have to do things a certain way based upon the way they were influenced. So it's always negative, in my opinion.
Okay. Yes.
So the addictive part of social media, in my opinion, is this. So sometimes you get online, you decide that you just see a flashy video come your way. There's a platform I use sometimes. You see short videos. Those short videos, one might just be captivating, either because of the photo you see on the video. And by the time you click on it, depending on the time you spend on it, you discover that the system, the moment that short video finishes, that same kind of short video comes up again. And before you know, you find yourself getting stuck. And before you realize it, the time you're supposed to use for something else has gone. And then you come back again to ask yourself, what was I really doing? Nothing. Nothing for real. You just sat there watching one thing from one thing to another. So the question we should be asking is this. Is there something that is making you want to remain on doing nothing? That's a very big question that we should be asking
Is
ourselves.
there something that is making you want to remain nothing? I think I like that. I think they call them the algorithms when you search for one thing and then over and over again, the things, those exact same things, pop up on your timeline. Yeah. So I think we should be mindful of the algorithms that we allow into our, space. I think we should. One of the negatives is also FOMO, like the feeling of missing out. And those things actually trample on our self-esteem. Like you feel like your friends are going on a vacation and then you see the pictures and you feel like you're missing out. You feel like your friends have posted their achievements on social media. It also impacts, our mental health because yes, you feel inadequate from feelings of sadness to depression and all that. Yeah. So I think these things are really real. So now, do you guys have tips on how our listeners can actually use social media wisely?
I think that you can kind of share on, and I'm curious to know how you transition your friendships from social media to real life, because I think that's important. I think having the ability to navigate from being online to actually having those extra set of skills to be able to navigate that in real life, you know?
Yes.
If I have to react to this topic on FOMO, that's feelings of
Listen up.
missing out.
Mhm.
The reality is this: if a group of friends decide that they're going on a vacation or something like that, and then they go, you miss out, and they begin to show photos and all of that on social media, there's nothing wrong in looking at what they are doing because this is real. When I say it's real, I mean these are people you truly know, and definitely you should be happy that they are happy, right? Now, don't feel bad because you didn't go, because you didn't go for a reason. You should remember the idea is you. It is you first before every other thing. If everything was okay for you, I guess you should have been there. So the first thing you should look at is the reason for my not attending that show valid? If it is valid, then you're good. All you need to do to get yourself back in line is to relate with those that went there. Let them share it physically with you, how they felt. Ask them questions. Oh, celebrate with them. I'm happy for this photo.
Friday, I'm gonna
happy
play.
for this one. I'm happy
I'm
for
gonna play devil's advocate because what if I'm not happy? What if I feel really inadequate? What if I feel unsuccessful? Right? Like, oh my god, my friends are successful. My friends are doing all of these things. I don't have money to go on this vacation. No, don't say
yeah,
that
so
because
no,
this is reality other people face. Friday.
no, I've not finished. Now the reality is, it's like if I have to mention it, like you said, you didn't have money to go for the vacation. You didn't have money. What will you do? Will you kill yourself? You didn't have money. You didn't have money. But does that mean you will not have money another time? That's what we should be thinking about. There is still hope. Besides,
So how?
don't ever think, as far as there's life, there are 1,000,001 ways to have fun apart from going for vacation. There are so many other ways to have fun. So just don't limit yourself. That's the point I'm trying to make. Just keep a free mind. Keep a free mind.
But it's
It-
hard. It's hard.
It's hard, but it is the reality.
Nicole, it's hard. It's hard. Let me play devil's advocate here. It's hard for me to keep a free mind. I'm so and not I don't want to use the word envious. I just feel inadequate, unsuccessful. My friend is throwing a $1 billion party. I'm here, I'm sulking. I feel like I haven't arrived. Yeah, these things are real. That's because Friday is here preaching to me, but you're trying I don't you're not downplaying my emotions, but then somebody out there may feel you're downplaying their emotions because you're advising. I want to know, like, realistically, let me say I'm coming to you, I'm having these issues for real.
Yeah.
How would you tell me that it's gonna stick in my head? Because it sounded casual, like, all right, don't do this, don't feel inadequate, but it's my reality that I don't feel like I have the money to go on these vacations.
Yeah, I agree with you that it's a reality. But that same reality tells you that if you are not able to do it, there is just nothing you can do at that very point in time.
Right. So
But
listeners,
does that mean is the end of you? I'm saying no, because there's always a tomorrow, which means you have to be hopeful. So there are certain questions you need to ask yourself for real. Why was I not able to do it this time? Be real. And then work on yourself to be able to do it next time.
I've tried my best.
This is the point that I'm making.
I've tried my best. It's not working.
So sometimes when we continue to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, some people might consider that insanity. However, I will say that you might need to consult someone to figure out, to check in and see if maybe the things that you're doing are really affected. So if you're trying to save money and you find yourself not saving money, or if you feel like these group of friends, because the reality could be these group of friends could leave you out on purpose. Maybe they don't want you. How do you be a part of the situation? You have to do an assessment. But sometimes it is okay to bring your thoughts and feelings to other people. It is okay to kind of, flesh it out and move forward. Maybe there are underlying factors in the reason why you're not included in the situation or you're not able to do it for yourself.
Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there because sometimes we're always talking about the positives. Let me be real. Like other people ask us in our comment section, you will keep preaching, preaching. How about me? I have no money to go to the thing,
Okay,
So yeah.
and then let me be real again. Another fact of reality is this. Now, life has taught me to. There's a saying that birds of the same feather flock together. So now, if you have a group of friends that are always going to have a particular kind of nice time and leaving you out, I think it's a time for you to give it a retort.
Reevaluate your circle.
You have to
Yes, evaluate your
This is
evaluate your
the people
circle.
that you should totally be with because as I am now, Nicole and Mitchell, we are friends, right? If I begin to feel successful in the big, relationship demands that these two should come along with me.
Absolutely.
So if I'm telling them now right away, if I'm beginning to feel, if I am successful in a particular thing that they are lacking of, and I'm not able to tell them that this is this and this and this is what I'm doing, or carry them along, I think it's time for us to call it quits. You have to reevaluate and
Right.
maybe begin to look for people who fit
Whose goals align with yours.
and whatever it is.
Yeah.
Nice too. All right.
Yes.
We were just talking about
Right.
today. I was encouraging you in a situation, and Michelle was like, "Hello, we're gonna go up. We're gonna go up together."
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then I just thought about something. It says you have to begin to accept the things that you're unable to change. Because sometimes, like Friday said, if you're unable to go out with this, things, accept your reality. I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I can't change the fact that I can't go now. But sometimes I can change the fact that, you know what, next time I could do this for myself. So I think you should evaluate your friendship, assess yourself, and then other people around you. That's a very important thing Nicole said. That's a very important point Nicole made, and then Friday as well. What other negatives do we think social media has on us or on people and their mental health? Because to me, I feel like social media can cause, some kind of stress, anxiety, and depression if you do not manage, how you utilize these things and, your algorithms properly.
Correct.
That's true.
There have been some statistics that say that there are teens who feel like they had used the teens who use social media more frequently have associated having depressive feelings, having suicidal ideations because they've been exposed to bullying or other sort of things getting on social media.
Right.
Right. So in social media too, we've seen instances where people that are not smart enough, or let me put it this way, a lot of people are vulnerable in their own capacity, So a situation where a child whose brain is not properly developed get exposed to social media, they could come in contact with predators that can tune them and force them to do things that ordinarily they are not, they're not matured enough to do.
Right.
This includes pornography. It includes stealing. It might even include killing. Use of arms and all of these things. Depending on the circumstance, people could become very, very vulnerable depending on who they are exposed to, the social media. So that's one aspect of it. And another aspect of it that I can think of again is the sense of a sense of insecurity, sense of feeling inadequate. I'll give you a typical example, like the part of the world where I come from. So we are so much dependent on family. So if you are a member of a family, for instance, and you have succeeded in life, there's this tendency that you have to reach out to other members of the family. We don't truly depend on the government for everything. I think our strongest point is family. So in that regards, we have come to a situation where people can deceive you on social media. Supposing you are the one that is successful, for instance, a person could go somewhere, take a photo in a very, very dangerous situation, and they send that photo on social media and you see it. When you see it, you're convinced that is the reality with this person. And you will be compelled, whether you like it or not, to act. But it could be that you're being deceived. So the point I'm trying to make is this: sometimes what we see on social media it's not really what the reality is on ground. So we really have to understand and differentiate between, these two so that we don't become victims.
And then standards too. Like the other day I was seeing somebody was saying, especially when it comes to marital standards, a lot of people are not real. You see people speaking about, oh, do not do this for your partner, do not do that for your partner. But a few days ago, somebody had posted her, her proposal video, and then a lot of people, a lot of women were going to the man's DM to ask him out. Like, I'm like, yes. Yes, a lot of ladies did that. These are the ladies who come to social media to say, oh, dissenter men, let's dissenter men. But at the end of the day, you are the ones like, no, social media is really not a real place. It's not a real place.
For it really isn't. People don't want to expose the real. It's very, you talked about vulnerability, but the irony of it all is that most of these content creators are really not vulnerable. They will never show the negative side. They will always try to influence you to be a certain way, to look a certain way, to do certain products that they don't use. Imagine there are content creators who make money off of eating videos and they don't even eat the food that they made in the videos. Right. They will take a bite and throw it in the garbage and have you believing that you sat there and ate all of that food. And then when you do the same, you wonder why you've gained all the weight and they're still skinny.
That's a funny one.
It's not a real social media can be deceptive. I don't want to say it's not a real place because we are on social media and we are very much real. Real stories, real feelings, real healing, right? Exactly. But we have to use discernment with all things, and we have to be able to know. But the reality is, not everybody has that level of discernment. Not everybody has that ability to figure out what's real and what's not. How do we help those people?
Right. Right.
So before we talk about how we're going to help people, I think we should also talk about a lot of people survive on social media. I think we should also talk about the positives because social media helps us get connection, right? If not for social media, who are we posting these videos for? We have to post the videos because we're educating other people. So I think there are also positives to social media. So can you both share what you feel positives of social media may be?
I mean, you said it, connectivity. There are people who, especially during COVID was a time where everybody was indoors and people were not able to have physical contact with one another. So people use Facebook dating, people use, Facebook groups and Instagram and other things. And please, by all means, I'm not advertising and I'm not, saying one is better than the other. I do not work for Meta. This is not free plug. But anyway, these are the tools that people use to stay connected. This is the only form of communication a lot of people had. So there, and some people, this is how they get their news.
Well, for me, this is me doing free plugging. Actually, I'm not okay, but I'm working on it. Yes, this is our podcast for mental health issues. So I have to plug what I do. So yes, guys, make sure you listen every Friday, on our channel, right? And daily we drop, little nuggets. Like Mondays, we have our motivation Monday, Tuesday, treatment Tuesday, wellness Wednesday, therapy Thursday, and friendship Friday. So please make sure you tune in to listen to us, okay? I had to put that out there because Nicole talked about plugging, she's not a Meta plug, but me, I am an I know plug, okay? So.
All right.
Yes.
Sir. Yeah, just to add to what Nicole said, there are a lot of positive sides to social media. So before I go to my positive sides, I just wanted to mention one other negative thing that I personally feel that we didn't mention initially, which is sleep disruption. So sometimes you could get hooked up and then before you realize it is 2 a.m. And then before you know it, it's 5 a.m. for you to wake up and start preparing for work. And guess what? When you don't sleep well, you know how it feels. You know how it feels. And then whether you like it or not, at the end of the day, when you ask yourself, what were you really doing till 2 a.m.? For the most part, there is nothing you've been doing. So you just waste your time, disrupt your sleep with negative productivity.
Right.
So I think that's the negative.
What they call it.
Yes.
So
and then comparing yourself, oh my God, this person has 1 billion cars in their garage. Oh, the other day it was talking about, how we started the show, right? This other person just posted 40 minutes ago and the person has 1.7 million views and likes. And here we are churning out, good content. Like what is going on in, the part of the world where I come from now. It was talking about Olodo uprising. I don't know if you saw that Friday, So it was like someone comparing, the way education has deteriorated in Nigeria. And then they compared it to the contents that different kind of contents that people churn out on social media. Why great contents do not have those legs. Those other contents that talks about nudity and other things are getting all the likes. So yes, I think it's a real thing. I think the negative impacts of social media, or the way social media impacts us negatively, I think it's a real thing. I think it's a real thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I could feel, because we're not getting all these likes, I'm getting depressed, I'm getting anxious. What am I not doing well? I'm trying to compare myself to other people. So that comparison is very unhealthy, guys. That's just what I wanted to say, put out there.
But you know what they say, comparison is with evil joy. So you cannot compare yourself to other people.
Right. Please don't compare yourself to other people. Because, other people's contents are different. But guys, you must like our contents, okay? Make sure you like our contents, all right? So let's talk about the positives.
Yeah. So
Right.
So, in my own opinion, too, there are a lot of positive sides in social media. First of all, whether we like it or not, it is our reality.
Yes.
Okay. I see a lot of politicians. That's an avenue where you use to tell people how they feel. How that is what they use in reaching out to their followers and all of that. So whether we like it or not, it is our reality. But the question is, how do you use it positively? Or what are the positive things that one stand to gain, from getting involved in social media? So in my opinion, there are a lot of it. First of all, it puts you on the global platform. Remember that, like if you're using a website, it's www, which is worldwide,
Well,
So that means whatever it is that you put online could be viewed. You could share it with anybody in the world. So if you are a professional in a particular thing in your own locality, that ability or that strength or grace that you have could be shared with everybody in the world. So that's a very good avenue to share things globally. Even if you have something to sell, for instance, it could be a platform for you to be able to reach out to as many people as you can. The world has become a global village. So all of these are realities that we should get ourselves involved in. I would like it or not. We are there and we have to make use of it. And then another positive thing about social media is sometimes you feel very, very uncomfortable relating certain things one-on-one with people. But with social media, you could do it anonymously. You could tell people how you truly feel without them knowing who you are. But at the same time, people could prefer true solutions to whatever problem that you have. I think that's a very good platform to use social media for. And then another thing, sometimes we all have different kinds of problems. And these problems, we are not able to relate them with people who are not in that same situation. So it could be an avenue or a platform where you could get connected to people of similar thoughts, of similar issues. That way, we share things in common. People are able to tell you how to be able to navigate through a particular problem that you have. And then if you use it positively, you could truly get your issues resolved. So when you look at it in that aspect, I think it's a very good thing. And then finally for me, for the positives, it's another venue where you can share information like news items, So with just a click of the button, a very useful information could reach millions of people, and you could get life saved. So to me, if you decide to use it well, it could be a very, very positive way of living life.
Right. I think you said the biggest point, or you said it's a global community, because we cannot exist in this world without community. So whether it be a community for resources, for information, for solutions, for support, for supporting our business or what have you, community is a thing, and social media can very much be that global community that we need. I agree.
So just to put this out there, research also says that social media is where people go to for relationship advice and advice for well-being, but it's not the most effective, guys. So that's what research says. I didn't say that. That's according to Psychology Today, okay? So yeah, so let's be careful of what we're looking for on social media. All right. I think we should also speak to experts when we have, when we need to speak about certain things, just to put that out there. Apart from what Friday has mentioned, you could also get resources on social media. You could also have human connection on social media. Most of the friends that I have had are from social media. Most of the good friends that I've had. So I think, it also builds, friendships. It builds relationships. It's an avenue for you to like showcase your business, yourself, and all whatnot. I think, social media is not only negative, guys, it's also positive. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword. And my advice to you would be keep what impacts you and ditch what doesn't serve you. If you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, do I feel overwhelmed after I have come out of social media? Maybe that content is not good for you.
Right.
Do I feel satisfied? Maybe you should, because sometimes like we churn out the positives, guys. Yes, we're just trying to make sure we teach you how to navigate through mental health issues. Look for other content, that can actually help improve you in the social media space as well.
That's true. Because what's mine is being in a good state of mental health. So whatever it is you're doing, if it's not making you okay, step away from it.
Yes.
So it's like a marketplace. When you go to the store, there are a lot of things that are on display for sale. You don't just go buying everything, First of all, you should have made up your mind. What am I going to do in the market? What am I buying? Be disciplined. Get what you want and then step up. And
Right.
when you stay for too long, it becomes negative.
Right. And if if you're someone who struggles with discipline, because we all, have the ability to fall victim to, you used to watch one video and then 2 hours later it becomes something else. Set limits, set boundaries. You can use your phone to set boundaries where you're only exposing yourself to, 1 hour a day. You can do those things, You could turn off your phone and, have quiet hour where you're forced to have connections with other people, Do those things to help you, because no one is perfect, and we can move ourselves into a place where we're getting better by using our resources and our tools wisely.
Right. But before we round up today, how can we use social media wisely before, for our listeners to know before, like tips and tidbits and skills that they can utilize in using social media wisely?
Okay. So, like I said initially, social media is like a marketplace or a store where you come to buy all kinds of commodities. So, my idea is this, or my advice is this. First of all, make up your mind. Don't just go into any platform because you just feel like scrolling your phone or you just want to use the computer. Make up your mind. What am I opening this computer for? What am I using this for? You have to be decisive. You have to be disciplined. And if you're decisive and disciplined, you get a lot of positivity in it. Platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, and all of this, we add them to our resumes these days because they are places where sometimes your employers and people like that would want to go to and see the kind of content, the kind of writers you'll be putting on this, on these platforms to see the real you, So, like I said, depending on how you use these things, they could be very helpful and they could be very, very useful to you too. So, the idea is make up your mind on what you want to do and be disciplined in doing it. So decide what you want to use, what you want to do. If you want to listen to news, go listen to your news and step out. If you want to relate with people on a particular topic, go there, relate with them on that particular topic and step out. If you want to get information, you want to be more knowledgeable about a thing, go there, relate with likes mind, let them give you ideas. I remember back in the days when people were still writing software, manually. Not these days that we have platforms that can create website easily for you. Back in the days, people were writing like hypertext markup language. You write it from A to Z. Back in those days, sometimes when you get stuck, there could be platforms where you could just relate with friends online and just tell them immediately that this is where I am, this is the problem I'm having right now. And somebody gives you an instant solution. Right there and then, you get that information, apply it, your problem is solved. So if you can be well defined, if you can be disciplined enough to know what you're going in there to do, I think it's a very, very good tool.
So I'm hearing you say like you need to have a purpose for your use of social media. It needs to be purposeful and intention. Even if that intent is just to just laugh. Because there are some videos that you're just gonna connect with just for humor. But whatever it is, have purpose. I think having a high sense of emotional intelligence is also important because you have to know yourself. You have to know yourself from the beginning. You have to know what triggers you. You have to know, the things that will set you off, all of that before you go ahead and you go into social media because you have to be able to protect yourself. But, I don't really want to bring up the issue of emotional intelligence because that's a topic for another day. But in the reality is know yourself and come with a plan and a purpose.
I think we should talk about emotional intelligence next. Or before we go, I also want to add that set a time limit, for when you're going to use the social media. The people who you feel do not overwhelm you when you check out their content. I think you should just begin to unfollow or mute them. Unfollow them, mute them. Block them if they don't, if they're not adding any value to you. Also, find fulfillment. From outside of social media. Yes, find fulfillment outside of social media. You could join like book clubs. You could, go hiking, biking, go to the gym, talk to people. Do other things that are not, within the social media space.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can really say that in this way. Don't think social media has become life. We are created to relate with animals, relate with plants, relate with one another. Feel the air, feel the sunlight. Yes. Don't take that out of here. That is humanity.
Touch grass. I think I like that. I'm always seeing that on social media. I don't know what that means, but
Put your feet. No, actually, they say that there is a grounding technique. If you put your feet in grass, you touch nature. It actually grounds you. It helps to regulate your emotions and things like that.
okay.
So yeah,
So whenever I see touch grass, I know the literal meaning of touch grass right now. And then I think one take home I'm going to give everyone before we leave is, avoiding social media can actually add to your stress, depression, and anxiety level. Yes, because sometimes social media also helps us suppress those feelings. It can also make you lose meaningful connections. Nicole had asked me a question earlier, like, how do I, progress from social media to people being my real friends? Social media, we talk, I see like we chat, we have like minds, we comment on the same kind of content, and then we take it up from there. Oh, I'd like to connect with you. What do you do? And then how can I help you? How can you help me? I've had friends like that. In fact, one of the jobs that I have ever had, someone I met on social media recommended me for the job. So yes, so I think it's also, yes, it is. Yes, even though, but do not lose the opportunity for meaningful connections because you're avoiding social media.
Right.
Yes, because it's both positive and negative. Like I said, it's a double-edged sword. So listeners, I hope we were able to meet you at the point of your need today. But before I leave, let's ask Nicole on Friday if they have any other thing to add before we leave today.
So, yeah. What I need to add is this. Whether I would like it or not, life keeps evolving. Remember, there was a time we were using typewriters. It changed to computers. Guess what? Those who still stuck to that old knowledge of typewriters, they're out of business today. So social media has come to stay. Let's not take that up. But the thing is, how do you use it positively to benefit you positively? So that's what we should be thinking about.
yeah, that's good. Only thing that I have to add is like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.
All right, guys. Yes, we've come to the end of the show today. I hope you enjoyed yourself. See you next time, guys. Actually, we're not okay, but working on it. Here we share real stories, we experience real feelings, and then we foster real healing. See you next time, guys. Bye.
Thank you.